All right, welcome to Dune 2019, the board game, based on Frank Herbert's sci-fi classic, based off the planet colloquially known as Dune or Arrakis. It's the only place in the galaxy to harvest the drug spice, a highly addictive substance that allows for interstellar travel due to its prescient nature, and can only be gathered dangerously during fraught sandstorms and against the rising threat of sandworms, and basically forms the entire currency of the galaxy. We'll have by default 6 rival groups vying for control of Arrakis. We have the Atreides, who are the sort of protagonists of the books, led by Paul Muad'Dib, son of the Duke. Serve as kind of the honorable, semi-prescient group who will, lead throughout the book. You have on their opposing end the Harkonnen house, led by Baron Harkonnen, a large man lifted by suspensors, who has a faction that focuses on treachery. You have the Emperor, over all the houses and tries to control the greater empire and all of his feuding lords beneath him. The Spacing Guild, who become almost alien in their appearance due to the transformative nature of the spice. They are able to see into the future to properly bend space and time to perform interstellar travel. They have a monopoly on space travel, and everything that goes throughout systems is on their dime. Then you have the Fremen, who are the natives of Dune. Sand, who are addicted to the spice, is like everyone else is, but to a higher degree, but want to transform this desert into a paradise that their people no longer have to survive by conserving all water. Finally, you have the Bene Gesserit, the precursors to the Jedi. It is a sort of a warrior priest nun faction that uses a eugenics breeding program to try to control the fate of the galaxy, forcing noble houses into certain marriages and genetic lines in order to basically predict something called the Kwisatz Haderach, which is the chosen one that will appear. They want to manipulate everybody around them. This game is about political intrigue and betrayal, alliance, military force, and economics, and just battles with nature. Let's go over the board game first. Alright, so here we have the planet Arrakis. On Arrakis we have 5 strongholds. They will have this triple border here, line, 2 line, and then the thick inner line. Siege Tabar, the capital Carthag, Arakin, Tuek Siege, Habanya Siege. These will play in later as far as the objectives go. For now, we'll stop with that. Then you have the rock parts of the territory, which have these double lines here in a lighter or darker brown color. These are saved from sandstorms, which we'll go over in a moment. And then with the single line territories, you have the sand of the planet Dune. In the center is the polar sink as well. Sandstorms that we'll be talking about. All right, everything on the map is divided into sectors here. You can see these pie charts. A good example here is this red right here is the sandstorm. Shows you, what it's in this sector. Everything within this is part of the sandstorm and subject to the dangers of that. You see here as the Cialgo Depression is a part of 3 different sectors. Only forces that are within this sector are affected by the sandstorm. So even though you can move, say, from Meridian into Cialgo here, there is no penalty to move, say, into this section or this section. You just determine where your forces are if you're in a split territory. You also see icons here that represent spice. Spice, the currency, will appear potentially in these sectors in the amounts that suggest. So particular ones will be more rich in spice than other ones. These two strongholds, Carthag and Arakeen, have a bit more, I guess, value than the other ones, depending on which faction you're playing, because they will allow you to travel farther due to the access to technology and the imperial technology within them, and allow you to collect more spice as a result. Around the board here, you have these little sitting locations. These are where your player tokens will go, and determine what your turn order is. You basically will place your player token next to the one that you were closely sitting to. So if, like said, here in white is Arconan, you would place your token here. We'll look here at some force tokens. And if you're new to TTS, we'll go over some controls here in a moment. These tokens represent, your forces. You can click and drag to pull one off, or click and hold to pull all of them off. Stacks, for example. You have also special forces. Like these stars here, which represent two forces. So some factions will have these kind of double forces here. All right, so some TTS rules. We'll go over this real quick. Each of these color boxes represents your own sort of private zone depending on your player. I'm currently selected, as you can see, with my icon, and up here in the top right as the green player. You can click here and change your color, and then spectator can see nothing, game master can see everything. If I click blue, now everything that's behind the blue sector will be visible to me. Let's go over the hands real quick. You have your initial shield, and on the back you'll find a bunch of rules that tell you like how the game starts, what your powers are, what your advanced powers are. We'll be playing advanced mode, so we'll go over that later. And then most importantly, you'll have your leaders, which will help you in battle. A side rule set that just kind of explains some of the things about your faction. Your spice, any kind of bribes or anything like that you've done. Your alliance card, if you form an alliance with their faction, you trade alliance cards with them, and it lets them know what powers they can use. And then we have the battle wheel. The battle wheel is going to be used obviously in the battle phase, where you can left click on the one here to add forces, right click to remove, and to add some, well, only factions that have Force 2, which will be Empire and Fremen, can add to this. Out in the advanced mode, and if you're playing basic, you can just click and it adds directly. If you are in advanced mode, you can choose how much you invest in your troops. We'll go over that later. Set it here. You can then, like, say on turns, you'll combine like a leader and you select them and then drop them into this battle crate. Once again, hold left click, bring it into view, right click, search. Left click and pull. Right click, pulls out something else from there. And then like once you set your battle wheel, you just drop it there. Boom, everybody can see everything. If you want to put it back in the box, select them, back in there. Left click and holding, like long click, is about how you basically grab containers and things like that. Right. Leaders, like I said, we'll go with them once we get to the battle phase. Add just certain value to each of your battle hands, things like that. We have spice cards over here. So we'll go over them more in the spice phase, where they will reveal where spice lands. The game right now auto scripts it and drops things. For example, hey, spice blow is in rock outcropping. Boom, it dropped 6. Yep, so 6 here, 8 the broken land. This is what determines like where worms appear and things like that. Up here we have the turn counter. Phases end, we switch through turns until up maximum of 10 turns. We also have this little worm head to determine through the phases. There are 9 phases, but okay. You'll have treachery cards, which are all kinds of different types of cards, whether they be shields, defensive treachery, offensive treachery, Rama cards, which allow you to do special actions, cheap heroes, which are substitutes for your leaders, or worthless cards, which are worthless. Kind of does what it does on the 10.